Yellowjackets is filled with complicated relationships, and Season 3 pushes many of them to the limit. While the 1997 timeline focuses on the difficulties that come with surviving in the wilderness, the present-day timeline continues to see the remaining trauma on the survivors and how they turn to or against each other. However, there are certain notable dynamics and events that play out in Season 3 that are integral to understanding how the younger counterparts grow into the adults they become. Season 3 is essential to grasping the darkness of survival and contemplating the emotional and mental strife placed on the characters as teenagers and adults. Natalie's darkness and cynicism, as portrayed in the adult timeline, that was not as present in the earlier seasons in the wilderness, have begun to gain a greater understanding. In part, that has plenty to do with a dead-end desire to protect Ben while grasping desperately onto a sense of humanity that Shauna and Lottie have seemingly lost. Season 3 also begins to lay the groundwork for a deeper understanding of their adult relationships, as seen in the initial tension between Natalie and Shauna and Misty's attachment to Natalie. Shauna's paranoia breakdown also gains more traction through her younger counterparts' actions throughout the season. While Season 3 takes a step back from further exploring Taissa's relationships with Simone and Sammy, who only appear briefly in one episode, Yellowjackets was very interested in exploring the tragic romance between Taissa and Van as it headed into its final weeks. There is also something to be said for continuing to acknowledge that both Taissa and other Taissa hold a strong emotional connection to Van, as well as how Van's death ultimately impacts Taissa and what she may be willing to do now that she places the blame for Van's death on Shauna rather than Melissa. Unfortunately, Yellowjackets did not spend much time exploring the dynamics that adult Van has with the other Yellowjackets, showing her more presenting comical reactions than having a more emotional connection to any of her fellow survivors. While not every previously established dynamic was given as much significance, such as the complex relationship between Natalie and Lottie or the friendship between Shauna and Taissa, Season 3 does its job in setting up many dynamics that help answer questions regarding why some relationships end up the way they are in the present timeline, as well as delivering a much stronger foundation for their dynamics in the wilderness.